Hi all. I'm working on a dryer vent, and it's kind of a strange one. It's a washer and dryer stand up. Okay, so like this is the floor. Dryer's up here. Washer's over here. Okay. The dryer vent is like right here, and then the dryer vent to go out the wall is way over here, and that's roughly 9 foot, maybe a little less. Okay, so what we're doing is we already have springy pipe from where it was connected. So when you buy these, don't get the paper ones. The paper ones catch on fire. I think the ones that don't catch on fire, they're about 14 bucks. So the ones that look like paper, there's videos online where you'll see they'll catch on fire. I think it's mainly for gas dryers. I'm not sure if the electric dryers run off the 220 volt. I don't know if they'll catch on fire or not, but I think most people have quit using these. So just get the metal ones. Kind of looks the same, but it's all metal. I think it's aluminum. Okay, so that's going to come out of here, and so I got an elbow to come out of the dryer. Okay, so I got an elbow to come out of the dryer. This side goes on the dryer. Okay, and then this points toward the floor. So that's going to come out of the dryer. This goes toward the floor. The other vent pipe that we have will go on here. Okay, and then you use some type of pipe strap to go on here. Okay, and it can be these, it can be plastic ones. They make a couple different types. Okay, so then this drops down to the floor, and then I have a second elbow that's going to be down here. So I got one elbow that comes out of here, the pipe that's going to go here, and then another elbow that goes here. Okay, and then we need a long pipe to go over to here. Okay, so that's where this stuff comes in. I went to a couple different hardware stores, and I finally bumped into a fella that knows what he's talking about. So he said use these. These are made out of aluminum because they're easier to work with. There's steel ones too, but he said they're really hard to put together. And I messed around with them, tried to get them to snap together, and it's almost impossible. For a normal person, you just have to know what you're doing. So these are fine. The only problem is they only had 2 foot lints. Okay, so to go 9 feet, I bought 4 of them. 2, 4, 6, 8. So I figure elbow here. This sticks out of the wall about a half a foot, and the spongy pipe can swerve over just a little bit. So I'm thinking 8 foot of this will be enough. Fella told me, he said if it's too long or too short, he said you just trim it. So this part, he said, just sticks together. Okay, he said don't screw it, don't tape it. He said it's airtight after you snap it together. And then when you put these together, when you put them together, he said put 3 screws in it, 1, 2, 3, and that'll make it so. Okay, and then when you screw these together, put 3 screws in. He said 1, 2, 3, and that'll make it so it doesn't collapse. And then after you put the screws in, then tape it. And of course that's a special tape. It wasn't that bad. I think it was only $2. He said don't use Gorilla Tape. The Gorilla Tape will melt. So sheet metal screws to screw these things together. This box was about $5. So it's just a standard sheet metal screw. Self-drilling, so you don't have to drill holes. Okay. The only thing I don't like is flatheads. They're always a pain to work with. You know, those flathead screwdriver bits. So we're going to do a video on putting these things together, and then we'll go install it. Okay, so when he snapped these together in the store, it looked real easy.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Let's see, you probably know more about it than me. Let's see. I guess this edge here goes down inside here. Oh, okay. Here. See how that's got to fold down just a little bit and then slide under. Okay, that's cool. He said once you snap those together, he said it's airtight. Don't screw it. He said don't screw it. If you try to put screws in it, it'll just buckle. He said it doesn't need to be taped because it's an airtight seal. Okay.
It started.
See how one edge is like that? Oh. See how one edge is like that? It's just kind of folded over, and then this side's got that big edge. Put that on top there. Push that down inside. Put that one on top. Push that down inside. And it should snap into place. Cool. Pretty easy once you know how to do it.
Huh? I tried to do one end of the other.
Okay, so see how that edge is like that? This edge is like that. It goes down in there like that. If I can do it, you can do it. I didn't know nothing about this stuff this morning. There's different types of pipe. I was looking at the big thick pipes, and one fella said to me, he goes, "You don't want that. That's stove pipe." It's like $18 for 6 feet. Okay.
Probably got the wrong end going in.
You got it.
Maybe you should start with the plain end, huh?
Okay, sometimes they get bent up a little bit. You just got to straighten them out. The edges are sharp. These edges are sharp, so be careful. Really not much holding them together either. I guess it just falls in place the way it's supposed to.
Once you put them together and tape them, they're fine.
Yeah. Okay, so that went a lot easier than I thought. Okay, let's get these out of the way. Now we got to put two of them together.
No. You're not looking at it.
So, curly end, flat end.
And then don't want to go.
Okay, so you could bend these down, you know, if you have to, but it should slide in there, you would think.
Don't want to go, does it?
Okay, you just gotta mess around with it.
Oh, yeah, it's a little tight.
Okay, let's, I guess you gotta make sure it's straight, so it lays flat. Okay, so I marked this with a magic marker, so I'm not guessing. So one here, and one by the seam. So they're like evenly spaced. And now we're gonna try to, and then make sure it's level, somewhat straight. You know, being down on the table, that'll make it sit kind of flat. Okay. So, that don't work. That just bends it up.
Yeah, it was better when we did it on the floor.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if these self-drilling screws work, or self-tapping screws. I might have to go get a drill bit. Man, I hate these flat screws. Okay, I'm gonna go get a drill bit. I ain't gonna fool around with that for 20 screws. Got it?
I hope so. Looks like it pushed away.
Good?
Is it in there? Push it together.
Yeah, it's in there.
As long as it hits the other riveted thing.
There's one.
I picked the other ones up.
Probably be easier to do with a screwdriver, to tell you the truth.
The screw is a lot fatter than the hole you're making.
Yeah. So it should be. Okay, then I'm just going to check them here. Make sure they're tight. Okay, now we'll do another one. It does go together, you just gotta play with it just a little bit.
Yeah, you probably have to bend the edges just a little bit and it'll start.
Tell you what, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to even press those down with a pair of pliers. Okay, so this one here, right at the seam, I'm gonna squeeze it just a little bit. That does the trick. Okay. Check it to make sure it's laying flat here. See, we're putting it together here before we go install it, because she's got 2 kids that are yelling and screaming all the time. So, a lot easier here. You imagine doing this with 2 screaming kids? Okay. It bent.
You think it bent?
Yeah. Yeah. The pipe on the inside bent instead of cutting. I felt it move. Plus I can see its gap in here. So you'll see that.
Yeah.
So don't press on your drill. Just let it cut.
Do you see an indentation at all?
Where?
In there, where it was going to drill.
Well,
It didn't even make a mark.
it pushed off the side. See here, it hit there, then it ran down the side.
Well, I was going to say, if it was, if you could see where it was supposed to drill, you could make a drill a hole.
Now I gotta get this.
Now you want to go back together.
See if I can get this in the same spot. See if I can get this in the same spot here. Not that it really matters, but there's gonna be tape around these anyways, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when you install it, you have to,
So this is where, don't push on the drill. Probably hold the pipe just a little bit so it won't bend. You know.
I was thinking when you install it to put it with, so the buzzer won't catch on
so
the
the
seams.
air's got to go that way,
Yeah.
so it doesn't get caught on the inside seams.
Yeah, you probably,
Follow what she's saying?
yeah, you should probably put your little arrow on it.
So like the seams here, right? Seams on the inside, so the air's got to go that way. It'll get stuck on the screws, but I guess they aren't worried about that.
Well, at least it won't plug up the whole thing.
Fella at the store, he's an older fella, he's probably the smartest one there. He seems to know what he's talking about, so he picked the screws out. I probably would have went with shorter screws if it was me, but that's probably the shortest ones.
They don't drill their own holes either.
Well, they're supposed to, but it would be real hard, especially on this.
Wasn't.
Especially on this spongy stuff. Okay, one more. Here's, let me,
Yeah, it's got the little dents in it.
let's use this one, since I got this one dented up. I got this one dented up a little bit because I smacked it with the drill. So we're going to put that on the inside. Got it.
I will flatten it now because you won't be able to get it in that other thing.
Yeah, see, like right here, I just squeeze them together. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea if you want to figure out some way to squeeze them together, but I guess it's not necessary. It's only a dryer vent, right? Well, if it's gas heat, you could get some bad fumes. But I guess that's what they recommend.
You on the other end or what?
No. Hold that. Flat enough, right?
That didn't bend, did it?
No.
It's gonna fit in the car?
No.
I'm looking over there.
Yeah, from the passenger side toward the back. I guess when you put the screws in too, you got to make sure that pipe don't bend down below. I guess you could look down inside of it and see if something's been up.
Yeah, I can see it, it's fine. Do you know that you can see all the way through there? I thought it'd be dark. It's all shiny. You can see all the way through it.
That one might have bent.
Yeah, a little bit.
Trying to go too fast.
Just your arm ain't long enough to reach in there either.
No. Just a little bit. Why they still make flathead screws, I don't know. Don't make any sense.
Okay. I'm watching it. Okay, I guess they're fine. And if the people that was there must have took theirs with them.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, you figure these were, I think they were like $3.23 or something like that. So I got 4 of them.
So you got about
It ain't cheap.
$14 in
Yeah.
Pipes.
That's what the fella said. He said they're easier to work with, but they cost more. Okay, then now we'll tape them up. So let's see, that's 10 yards, so that should be plenty, right? Oh, it's like there's a plastic coating.
Like a Band-Aid?
Yeah. Okay, so there's like a paper backing, and then the foil. Oh, they had it stuck together so it wouldn't unwind. So how many inches do we need here? Just go around once or what? Eh?
Well, if you go over the screws, it's going to be bumpy. Is it going to matter? Or do you want to get the seam?
Well, they're 4-inch pipes. So let's see what we got here. So this overlap a little bit. We got about 12. We got about 16 inches.
If you wanted to bypass the screws, you'd have to put it like
Yeah. So I suppose that's just a paper backing. It's like it's just like aluminum foil. So what she's talking about, you want to get the seam, plus she wants the screws covered.
No.
Hmm?
If you go over all them screws, you're gonna have a gap in it.
Okay. That works. It's fine. Works real good. Just 3M knows what they're doing. Oh, she's talking about she didn't want me to tape up the screws because there's a bump. But I think it's better that we do tape them up.
It'll make a wrinkled gap if you don't press it down good. They have to fix through, but it looks faster.
Okay.
Yeah, at least if we get there by 7, huh?
I suppose you could do it like this. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, it's like duct tape, it sticks to itself. Put that one over a little bit farther. So.
Well, we can always put another layer on once we figure out how much we got left. You figure 15, 15,
Yeah, this one's fine.
that's 1 yard. So another 15 here. So we're gonna have plenty.
Yeah, it's fine. There ain't nothing coming out through them holes.
Yeah. She said she's gonna run the dryer today with no vent on it. That's what she did at the apartment too. She just ran it.
Yeah.
For what? What'd she say? 6 weeks or 6 months?
I don't know.
The air was just going in the apartment.
Yeah, it's okay if you got
So
put a lint bag on the end of it.
it might be easier to do this like this.
Like, I don't know if she still had those lint bags from the other apartment.
Yeah, they make things that you connect to the back of your dryer, and then it comes down. It comes down one of these, and then this goes into a bucket, and that catches the lint.
But you gotta have a filter on there, and you're gonna have lint
Yeah.
all over your house.
Yeah, there's a filter, and it lets the air out. I guess some people like that extra heat in the house,
Or moisture, because in the winter it's real dry.
but I remember hearing breathing the dryer air is not good for you. I don't remember why,
Yeah,
but we did it for years. We piped it into the basement.
yeah. Well, it's probably fine down there.
Made our basement a little moldy because it was always damp from all the dryer.
Because you wash
Okay,
clothes.
good.
You wash too many clothes.
Okay, so we'll go install this and we'll see you in a bit. Bye. Okay, so here's our setup. Got the washer and dryer here. The pipe is going to go along the floor there and connect over there.
Down in here.
So the dryer connector is back there somewhere.
You're gonna have to anchor this too.
Okay, so there's the side of the dryer. And there's the connector there. The back of the dryer, the connector's right in there. Okay. Okay, so she had this one. We're gonna make this one straight. So that'll come straight out of the dryer. And then that should give us enough to where it's gonna go down. Follow me?
Got it.
So these, she didn't know that these moved. This moves here, and then this one moves too. This one doesn't look like it would move, but it does. So that's the same thing, and I got it angled so it's a perfect elbow. So I looked around and they didn't have any straight ones, so I presume you use these for straight ones too. Because I wanted to buy a straight one in case we needed it. So now I can't figure it out. Now I have to make it straight. That's why I didn't want you messing with that one. I stood in the store for 15 minutes trying to figure it out.
Oh, jeez.
You gotta be a mathematician to work on dryers. Okay,
Oh, maybe if all the lines are straight, it's straight.
Oh yeah, okay.
And that one.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Ho
Okay.
ho!
So then we got screws and tape too. So we'll see which end goes into the dryer.
This the bigger end.
Okay. And then so then this will go on here like this. And we'll put some screws and tape on there and then see if this will go. I'm hoping this will go in here like that. And then tighten it up here. Filming this, Mom? Okay. And then this will go in here and we'll just tighten it up here. So that one is straight. And then this one's the elbow. That goes in there. Then that'll come out of the back of the dryer. And then this one will go in there. And then we'll have to cut that off down there and use the other elbow on that end.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Now that's not going to sit right on the floor because the dryer vent's like a foot off the floor.
Oh.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay, see ya. Bye. Okay, so we got 3 screws in here and we taped it up just like we did the pipe. There's Harvey. Hi, Harvey. Hi, Harvey. What you doing? You're gonna like baby. Yeah, you're gonna like baby. I was gonna bring her tonight, but I figured there'd be too much commotion going on. Okay, so I ran into a little snag here. This pipe is exactly the same size as that pipe. The pipe down there is the same size as the elbow. It's exactly the same size as that, but that won't go in it. This is just a little too big. So I'm just gonna like put a little crimp here. And I'm hoping that's just enough so it'll slide in. It should have fit. I don't know how to do it. Okay, so that should work. And then I got a pipe clamp here. Okay. I'll put that on top so the lint won't hit it. Okay, so we got this part on. We put one of the pipe clamps on there. I don't know how tight that is. We tightened it up as much as possible, but I'm just going to put a couple strips of tape on there just to hold it in there. I'm not going to wrap the whole pipe, but just so it doesn't slip out. Okay, so it looked like somebody had put some brown strapping tape around it. So while I was trying to clean that up, the other pipe fell off, and I noticed this one turned too. So you can adjust it to the angle you want, which kind of don't make no sense. Okay, so I'm going to get that so it comes out and see it a bit.
He's invented this.
Okay, so I'm trying to put this, I'm trying to connect this to that other pipe. I'll show you in a second. And they're both the same size. So I figured instead of crimping it, I just cut it and then fold it over. And then I'll tape it so the lint can't get stuck to it. Okay, so it made it just a little smaller. And then now it should slide in here if we're lucky.
Almost. You might have to make another one.
Okay, see ya. Okay. Okay, so here's the finished product. Comes down. I got everything screwed and taped. One connection comes apart here, so if she ever needs to move it, and I wrote on it there. It goes over to the wall. The clamp wasn't holding that either, so I put 2 screws in it. I put 2 screws in there, 3 pieces of tape. And we have to put a screen on the outside because the mice get in. Just a piece of window screen so the mice can't climb in. I've got some galvanized screen too, so I'll have to go outside and see what it looks like. Okay. Turned out good. And she can move it out, so even though this is real stiff, even though that's real stiff, see, she can still move it out. Okay. That pipe's so stiff you wouldn't think you could still move it. If we anchor this pipe, if we anchor that pipe, she wouldn't be able to move it. So that's kind of a pain there, being that far away from the wall. But that's where they put the pipe there. She's just renting, so that's where they put it. Okay, then here's the dryer vent cover, so the mice can't get up in there. It's just a plastic one. I looked all over Amazon. I couldn't find any steel ones that were worthwhile. The only steel one was like 50 bucks, so I think this one will be good for here. I got 2 for 12 bucks. So 4 small screws. Yeah, the last house, they had mice get into their dryer, and they just closed it up on the outside. So that's why we were worried about it this time. That dryer vent actually stuck out pretty far. I didn't think it was going to go over it. You can see it's a close fit, but it went on. One side, I couldn't get tightened. It kept popping out, but it's good enough. It's not going to go anywhere. Maybe drill some holes and put in some other screws here and on the bottom. you know, if you're worried about it popping off. But she's just renting here, so it's good enough for now. See ya. Bye.